Hello, everyone. My name is James McCool, the owner of PaydirtDFS.com, and I just want to do a quick video going over some of the betting models on the site, specifically the NBA betting models. So I had posted in the Discord this morning that I thought that there were a lot of bets to place today in NBA. The slate isn't really that big, but we have a lot of bets that are worth placing. So I kind of wanted to show how to find those since I was asked. So what you do is you go over to models and then you go down to the Paydirt NBA betting models. And for clarification here, this is my process of going through things. People can use models different ways. We have a couple different models. We have the Paydirt ones. We have American numbers, NBA player level projections, and his team level models. Both of those are good models as well. I know a lot of people use those frequently. But going to showcase the Paydirt betting models here. So the first thing that I usually do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to look for a couple things. So are there any overs or unders that are a 60% or better rate, right? So the Spurs game, Spurs versus Portland, 57% over. We have projected for 228. Vegas total is 225. That's okay, but I would prefer it to be a 60%. Under for Philadelphia and Indianapolis, 56%. Again, I'd prefer it to be 60%. Disclosure, I did take the under on Indiana, Philadelphia earlier when I had a project for 223. That has since come up a tiny bit. And then over here for spread and Vegas spread, so I want to look for differences of 5 points. So Chicago and Charlotte, this is pretty close. I don't really think that Chicago is really that good of a team, so I did end up taking the Charlotte spread here. I ended up taking the Clippers spread as well, since we have this as a pick 'em. And then the other one, I think I ended up taking Washington spread, since I think that 17 points is a little bit much for really any team. I usually just like taking underdogs. One thing that you'll usually notice is the model is on underdogs for spreads. One thing the model's identified this year and to good success has just been that the spreads have been too big. So we exist in a time of NBA where blowouts do happen relatively frequently, but when it's not a blowout, typically it's close games. So we have very barbell kind of instances. So the model has been on underdogs. It is hitting at a 68 or 66% rate. So, we're happy about that. So after I check this stuff, I will usually just run over to the stat specific sims. I will choose the book that I want to look at. Specifically today, we're going to take a look at DraftKings. And then we'll just simulate the prop category. And so what you'll see here is each one of the prop categories being simulated out. It'll do points, rebounds, assists, PRA, points, rebounds, points, assists, and three-pointers. And then it'll tell you very simply what you should bet, who you should bet, and whether it's an over or under, and how much edge you have. This can be a little bit hard to read through. So usually what I'll do is I will open this all the way up, and then I will sort this by prop type so that I can see what the best bets to make based on each prop type are. This is just easier so that when I go over on to DraftKings and I make my bets, I know where I'm focusing. So not that much edge. Usually I focus on things that have a 15% or greater edge. That's usually what I focus on. But you can hit anything up to a 10% or greater edge, which is why you see no bet once you start hitting these under 10% ranges. And then you scroll down and it's like, okay, we have a whole bunch of assist bets that are worth taking, right? So I took every single one of these assist bets up through 15%. As we go down, we see points. There's a couple points bets worth taking, nothing crazy. The biggest one is Joel Embiid under for 29.5. And then we run down, we see player points assists. Again, we see Joel Embiid. We have a lot of unders on Joel Embiid here. Points, rebounds, and then points, rebounds, assists, and finally rebounds, right? So pretty easy process. That's pretty much just the way that it goes. Something else that you can do as well, if you are looking for a little bit more context, you can go to the prop trend table. So as we were speaking to something like assists, right? We can go to assists and we can open this up and we can see a couple different interesting things. Well, actually, let's close this out and say specific books here. Let's just look at DraftKings. So if we were just looking at DraftKings for, this is rebounds. I'll open this up a little bit. We can see a lot of really cool things about player success over time, right? So last 5 success, last 10 success, last 20 success. this will default to the trending over in the over edge, right? So Bilal Koulibaly, over the last 5 games, he has had over 2.5 rebounds in every game. Over the last 10, 80% rate. Over the last 20, 65% rate. His projection is only 2.9, but the last 10 average is 3.4. So his trending over is 82%, and then his over edge is 20% because the implied over is 60%. So you could go through this list as well. And something that I've done in the past is take this list on top of the stat specific sims, come up with a weighted average between the edges that you get on either one and hit those. So this has just been kind of a basic walkthrough. You can use this same process for NFL and for NHL. They all have the same framework of stats. They all have prop trend tables. They all have stat specific sims that you can run through. And that's just kind of my day-to-day way of handling things. If you are a subscriber to Paydirt, obviously we have access to all of these models for betting and for DFS. And if you're not, then what the fuck are you doing? You should get a subscription. You can find subscriptions here in the members drop down under subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay too. Appreciate the support and the views and everything like that. But otherwise, hope you guys find success. Bye.